I'm about to give y'all some pointers on how to heal from heartbreak. It's really a simple process. It just takes time. But we finna go ahead and get straight into it. So first things first, how to heal from heartbreak is to accept, accept, accept what it is you went through. You've got to accept it before you could ever even get to the healing phase, before you could even focus on what it is you could do better and the certain standards, new standards that you'll set for yourself. Before you can get to any of that, you gotta accept no matter the best of the best or the worst of the worst. When it comes to trauma, you've got to overcome whatever emotions that come with the thought of the previous experience. See, when we are able to come to terms, not say forget about it, not say, oh, I don't care about it anymore, but to say, damn, okay, this really did happen to me, and man, this situation was really was fucked up, or maybe it wasn't as fucked up as I think. Whatever the case might be, you've got to accept that feeling and those emotions that you pour into those thoughts of that experience. Because when you're able to become self-aware of the emotions that are fed, or the emotions that come through with those thoughts, and you're able to have a aerial perspective and say, hey, okay, boom, I see that every time I think about this traumatic experience, it gets me upset, or it makes my stomach clench, or it makes me sad, or it makes me a mix of emotions, whatever the case might be. Coming to terms with that, it doesn't happen once. See, acceptance is every single time the thought happens, you essentially view that thought, feel the emotions, and literally let it go. Kind of think about it like an inhale and then exhale, right? So when you're thinking about the emotions, right? When you're thinking about the trauma and past experiences, it gets real deep. It boils real deep, right? So when you inhale, right, it's like all that stuff is bubbling up, it's boiling up on the inside, and then the exhale is the acceptance. Like, okay, cool, yeah, understand this happened, but this traumatic experience doesn't define who it is I am as a person, right? So this is all going to help in terms of longevity of you accepting and healing from your traumas. Now, I understand there's some traumas that cut a lot more deep than others, right? Wounds that cut a lot more deep than others. I get that, right? But it's a matter of, so you've got to understand that everything starts and stops from up here. As much as you might not understand it, it does. And the more that you understand how much of your external world is reflected upon your internal being, well-being, your state of mind, right? The thoughts and emotions that go into that, then you'll be able to better, again, be self-aware, to be able to spot certain triggers, right? And then you will be able to understand, okay, damn, I'm feeling all this, but at the same time, why am I feeling this? Once you understand that why, it's gonna help move forward. It's gonna help with the healing process. Does that make sense? Again, it's simple. It's a matter of rewiring your brain to accept those traumatic experiences for what they were in the given time period that they occurred, right? See, what our brain likes to do is it likes to adapt our past experience to that now, right? And that's not how things work, right? We know that it's harder to function when our brain is stuck in the past, and it's hard to function when our brain is in the future. And oftentimes, our brain likes to revisit those traumatic experiences, and those traumatic experiences control the present moment. So, essentially, you would never be free. All right. But if you wire your brain into the realm or way of, hey, every time that I see this wound on me, instead of getting worked up about the cut, remembering and reliving each and every single time I remember in my head that moment that I got cut, and having bitter or remorseful tension towards that experience, you simply view it, and it passes. All right. Think about how many thoughts you think about, right? And then it passes. Those traumatic experiences can move away just like that. Trauma can move away just like those thoughts that you don't really care for, right? Or that you might think about and then poof, is gone, right? But the reason why trauma doesn't move or passes away like a waning thought is because our emotions are tied to that trauma. So if we can unravel our emotions from that trauma, that is where the true healing comes from. That is where the true healing comes from. It's that acceptance. It's that unraveling and the draw of the emotions and detaching from that said experience. And just looking and viewing that as something that you went through, just like everything else. Right? Right. And if you have that emotional connection, and that connection was extended over the period of time, and then the connection was completely severed, it's going to be, I understand it's going to be harder to accept that trauma, to accept that heartbreak. But you can't get through it, and it can't happen. But it takes effort on your end to be consistent. See, to rewire your subconscious, that is where all these traumas are coming from, is your subconscious mind. To rewire that, it takes consistency. It can be done, but it takes abstinence and consistency on your end. And what do I mean by abstinence? Is by going without, right, those emotions. Abstinence, disconnecting, detaching from that experience. See, whatever is holding you on, or whatever you're holding on to in your mind for that experience, whatever the case might be, you're stuck in that, and you're stuck in that moment, and you will forever replay and relive that. No matter what you go through, no matter how many days go on, you'll still be stuck and living through that moment. And this is not healthy in terms of society, right? Social interactions, people that you're interacting to, because you're going to project onto other people what you really see or don't like about yourself. And it's going to make it hard for you to build relationships and have connections with people when you do things like that. Wouldn't it be easier? Wouldn't it be better just to work and heal on your internal before you go and take that for other people to view, observe? Because once you go outside of yourself, right, people will start to see, okay, man, he doesn't really have any control over his emotions, does he? I need to stay away from him. I can see that he's taking his anger, or he's bitter about something, maybe something that he went through when he was a child, or when he was a kid, or something that he hasn't gotten over, he hasn't healed from. Maybe I need to keep my distance. People spot stuff like that. And I'm not saying, oh, well, you should care about what others think, but more importantly, you should care about how you are going about your day-to-day life and how you're perceived. Am I representing myself correctly? Right? Right. How would I want to be perceived if I were to run across me? That's how you want to look at things. If you don't look at things like that, then you're too caught up here in your mind. Let go, release, accept. It's not a one-time thing. Acceptance is something that you have to repeatedly tell yourself until it becomes a natural habit, and that you really have come to terms in that peace and this level. You don't care about it anymore. Does that make sense? So once you start to accept, it's gonna help not get over, but get through that heartbreak, get through that trauma. And that's all life is just getting through, getting to the next day. All right. I'm not saying to try to forget, erase, no, because the more you try to push it away, the harder it's going to come back. We are the creator of our realities, believe it or not. Don't you ever forget that. Don't you ever forget that. You are in control of your brain, not the other way around. See, that's the common misconception nowadays. They want us to focus on the material. They want us to focus on the things that we could see with our eyes. But little do they know, and little do you know, what we see with our eyes, what our brain perceives as reality, is only a mere spectrum or a mere spectrum of what really is to be true. There's so much that we can't see. So much that we can't see. So let's focus on the internal things, like our thoughts, right? Our logic, our ethics. And this is how you help others, is by helping yourself. It's always been like that. If you can't help yourself, you won't be able to help anybody else. So make sure to remember and always to take care of yourself. Take the time to heal. Take the time and work. See, people don't want to work towards that healing, or they don't want to work towards seeing better days. They don't want to work towards becoming more mentally stable, having more grit, healing from these past experiences, so that if you have certain traumatic experiences in the future, which you most likely will, because that's just life, you'll know how to go about that, and these traumas won't keep piling up, because that's exactly what happens if you don't work on your trauma. That's exactly what happens when you don't work on yourself. So let's focus on the acceptance. And then once we do that, oh yeah, we on to the next step, which is healing and rewriting our self-identity, because those traumas no longer define us anymore. What I went through as a kid no longer defines who I am anymore. I've got a new story to be written, new goals to achieve, new things to look forward to. And I just see that as a simple building block, a learning lesson that's part of life that I had to go through. But if you never learn from your lesson, that's insanity. Someone who does something over and over and over, expecting different results, is insanity. So let's start to change things up. That's the video for today. Appreciate each and every single one of y'all tuning in. If this video helped y'all, Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below. I will be having more bangers like this one on the channel, so make sure y'all stay tuned. It's Boogie, and I'm out.